Hey, Busy Bees! Today we are back with another book. We have book 10 in our My Weird School series, Mr. Docker is Off His Rocker by Dan Gutman. But before we get into our new book and our first chapter of this book, we are going to get into our riddle of the day. And the riddle of the day is, the more of this there is, the less you can see. What is it? And I'll tell it to you again. The more of this there is, the less you can see. What is it? And I will give you the answer to our riddle at the end of our chapter. So let's pop open our book and fly through this adventure together. So here we have our table of contents. We have 12 chapters. Our first chapter for this book is Science is for Nerds. And here we have the picture of our main characters, and it looks fairly similar to the pictures before. All right, chapter 1, Science is for Nerds. My name is AJ, and I hate school. Why do we need to learn how to read if we have books on CD? Why do we need to learn social studies if that stuff happened a long time ago and we can't do anything about it now? I hate that stuff. But there's one subject I really hate. Andrea Young. Well, Andrea Young is not exactly a subject. She's this annoying girl in my class. Even her curly brown hair is annoying. Guess what, AJ? Andrea said as we were putting our backpacks away. Your butt, I replied. Anytime somebody asks, guess what, you should always say, your butt. That's the first rule of being a kid. I know what AJ stands for, Andrea said. Do not. Do too. We went back and forth like that for a while. There's one way Andrea could know what AJ stands for. I never told anyone. Even my best friends, Ryan and Michael, don't know. If anyone ever found out what AJ stands for, I'd have to get a new name. I'd have to leave town. AJ stands for... Andrea never got the chance to finish her sentence because our teacher, Miss Daisy, came in. Enough chit-chatting, Miss Daisy said. It's time for show and share. Oh, man, I forgot all about show and share. We were supposed to bring in something that starts with the letter D and tell the class about it. I looked in my desk for a D word. Nothing. I looked in my pockets. All I had was lunch money. But wait, a dime. Dime begins with D. I brought in a dime. I told Miss Daisy. Good. She said, what can you tell us about the dime, AJ? It's worth 10 cents, I said, and everybody laughed even though I didn't say anything funny. Andrea was waving her hand in the air, and she got called on, of course. The word dime comes from the Latin word decimus, Andrea said. I hate her. Very good, Andrea, said Miss Daisy. How did you know that? I looked it up in my D word, Andrea said. I brought in a dictionary. I use it all the time at home to look up words. Andrea grinned her little I'm so smart grin. Ryan, who sits next to me, whispered. If she was really smart, she wouldn't have to look stuff up. Andrea, would you please look up the word science? Asked Miss Daisy. S-C-I-E-N-C-E. What a dumb spelling. There's no reason why that word should have a C in it. Andrea turned the pages of her dictionary. S-S-A-S-C, she said. Here it is. Science is knowledge made up of an orderly system of facts that have been learned from study, observation, and experiments. Very good. Andrea smiled her I know everything smile and said she was going to keep her dictionary on her desk from now on in case she had to look up any other words. Why can't a box of dictionaries fall on her head? I have good news, Miss Daisy said. We have a new teacher at elementary school. His name is Mr. Docker, and he used to be a real scientist. He's retired now, but he agreed to come back to school to teach us science. That was good news. It sounded like bad news to me. We never had to learn science before. Now, just because some old guy doesn't like being retired, we had to learn a new subject. It wasn't fair. Why did I have to learn science? It's not like I was going to be a scientist someday. When I grow up, I'm going to be a football player. I play pee-wee football. Tackling people is fun. Suddenly, Mr. Klutz, our principal, poked his bald head into the doorway. "Has anybody seen Mr. Docker?" he asked. "I think he ran away." "We'd better line up in ABC order and go look for him," said Miss Daisy. "Quickly, to the science room." I didn't need any dictionary to tell me what science is. Science is for nerds. And that is the end of our chapter for today. Unlike the other chapters or the other first chapters of our books, this one wasn't really much of an introduction. It kind of like went into our story, talking about how much he hated Andrea. I found it interesting, and I would like to see more about the science part and who Mr. Docker really is. So let's get into the answer to our riddle. The riddle was, the more of this there is, the less you can see. What is it? And the answer is, drum roll please, darkness. Darkness, do you get it? The more darkness there is, the less you are able to see with your eyes, right? Because we can't really see in darkness. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you like to follow along for more adventures, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you on the next one.